move this a little bit. Sorry. Okay. Hey. Um, I realized that I've never actually introduced myself on here, so let's just do that real quick. Um, my name is Bailey. I started this account, Bailey the Scholar, the original one on Instagram. I want to say my junior year of undergrad to start documenting my like academic and professional journey, like a real digital diary of sorts. And then I just started the YouTube thing in June of this year to like document me moving to law school and like really make like the true visual diary thing happen. Um, but yeah, I'm 22. I currently go to law school in Washington D.C. Um, and I'm studying to be a civil rights attorney and to do education advocacy. I just want the babies to go to school and learn some quality education. Everybody get a chance for success. What can I say? So, to segue to the actual point of the video, a lot of my friends and like my line sisters and people back home and people on my Instagram account have asked me like how law school has been and just like what my feelings about it are. So I thought that I would talk about it while I retwist my hair. Because I've been needing a retwist for like some time, and it's about time that I look like somebody loves me. So I figure, you know what they say, work-life balance, time management, all of the things. So let's get into that. I used to sit with like the two mirrors and stuff, but I'm honestly at that point where like I don't really care what the back of my head looks like. Um, the back of my hair truly isn't my problem. I don't like this right here. Okay, sorry, I had to get my life together. Boom. And I have some notes on my iPad so I wouldn't get sidetracked. So some background. I graduated from Texas Southern University in fall 2024, and I got my degree in history. I would personally consider myself K through JD. I took a gap semester mainly because I had to. You can't really apply to law school in the spring, and even if you can, I didn't want to. Like that was a little too like straight through for me. Um, so I graduated in December, and then I was just working and like getting ready to move from Houston to DC because I knew where I was going to school. Like I got accepted into my school maybe like a week or so, a week and a half after I graduated, so I knew where I was going to school, and I was just planning for that like from January to when I moved in July. Um, but yeah, so I did the whole K through JD thing. Um, and yeah, having just it's like I'm scared because what if it looks crazy? But anyways, having just finished school last year, like I'm still in that mindset of being in school, waking up, going to class. Like it felt more foreign to me to be like in the real world, just going to work. But there's a lot of different types of law students and like non-traditional law students, people who've had whole careers like before they even go to school. So it's just a different vibe. But I think that in general, that's like helped my mindset going into school because I'm still very used to being in school. And I love being in school. I literally love being a student. um but yeah, which leads me into the first point about my mindset. I've wanted to be an attorney since my entire life. Like, there's nothing more that I want to do than be a civil rights attorney, and I've literally wanted that since I was like 8 years old. There is no plan B. There is no plan C. If I'm not a law school, or I'm sorry, if I'm not an attorney, I'm literally homeless or something. Like, but good thing that we'll never have to find out. And I feel like that's kind of helped a lot in my mindset because this is my life's dream. Like this isn't a second career for me or something that I just recently decided that I wanted to do. Like there's nothing else in this world that I want to do more than being an attorney. So my being in law school, ooh, so my being in law school and my being here and like really, really, really starting the journey, it's very like a full circle moment for me. And every day I walk into class, like, damn, I'm very grateful to be here. So I think that that guides my perspective in the school very well. I've also been really intentional about not having expectations. Like for school, I've been doing a lot of self work and a lot of healing as a person for a lot of reasons. Um, and one thing that I've been very intentional about in general is like not setting not setting distinct expectations for everything, and like not setting my expectations for things in general so high, because I feel like that just breeds disappointment. And like I said, this is my life's dream. Like I'm not going to sit up and be disappointed because I convinced myself that law school was going to be one thing and it's something completely different. How can you convince yourself of something that you've never done? Like I just I had to be smart about it. um, okay, you know what, pause, because I'm not going to adjust this whole time. I was trying to keep it cute and keep it like PG, but child, I'm trying to move around and maneuver around my hair and my shirt jumping up and down. It was irritating me. Um, is this the right? Okay, cool. Let me move this so I don't have to keep doing these little gymnastics, child. I was doing cheer, not gymnastics. Okay, yeah, cool. So one thing I've been super intentional about, like like I said, was like the healing journey stuff. But just as it relates to law school, I was not going to set expectations for myself as to what law school should be like, or what this should be, or what that should be, because I wasn't going to ruin this for myself. I had a tendency, said had because we're growing out of things, I had a tendency to just try to plan everything and like try to control everything and figure out what was going to happen before it happens. And like I wasn't finna, we're not finna throw anxiety into my dreams. This is the real deal, girl. Like, this is not what we're finna do. So there's that. But I can say that, like, there's things about law school that are just unavoidable to, like, hear or to, like, stereotype stuff about, like, stuff about 1L and being, having to read to death and, being cold called and stuff like that. Like, things that you just are unavoidable. And I'm definitely gonna talk about that. But in general, I wasn't like, oh well, school has to be like this, or I have to do this every day, and I have to come dressed up in this. Like, you'll know when you get there, and that's definitely been helping me out. Not trying to plan my whole life ahead and whatever, because it's 3 years that fly by, but at the same time, like you can learn about things as they come. You're actually in school to learn, not to know everything when you get there. So love that for me. I feel like I just heard somebody like beating on my door. Yes, finally. Okay, and we twisted one over here. Cool. Okay, now let's get into some just reflections from school, period. Um, this is the first time, like being in law school, this is the first time in a long time that I feel like I'm being academically challenged. Like, this is amazing for me. When I was an undergrad, loved TSU so, so, so much, but I got a lot more out of TSU in like my self growth arc and helping me grow into the person that I've always been meant to be, but I just needed like a safe and comforting environment to grow into that person. Um, Academically, I wasn't exactly being pushed to my greatest extent. Like I was doing very, very well in my program, partially because I absolutely love what I studied. I live, love, laugh history. So, and if you follow like the Bailey the Scholar account on Instagram, you know that I live, laugh, love history. So I wasn't being pushed too hard in that department as much as I was just like feeding my inner child with information and learning, because like I said, I love going to school and more so just growing as a person. But like by the time I got to my senior year in undergrad, I was like, yo, why do I feel like I haven't learned anything? And like I did learn a lot of content, but I just feel like I wasn't stretching my mind. Like I wasn't growing I wasn't becoming any more intellectual. I was just learning information. You know what I'm saying? But being in law school, like my brain has just been getting the most satisfying scratch to the most long-standing itch that I've had. Like, do you know when like you've got an itch on your back and you just scratch it and then you just hit that spot, like, and then you just hit that spot, like that's how law school has been for me. A really, really, really satisfying itch to a long-standing scratch. Um, I love that for me. I said I'd talk about the Socratic method and like cold calling. I find it to be really engaging, actually. The Socratic method is what's popular to use in law school. Like when people talk about being cold called, it's basically just like you'll be reviewing a case that you had in your reading, and they'll be in class, like standing up there. Some teachers, I have professors where some of them pull cards and they'll just call on whoever's card they pull. I just pulled up some. That just threw me off. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. I have professors who some of them will pull cards and just pull your name like off of the stack. Others will just look around the room and they'll just pick somebody like everybody got a different method. I heard somebody in one section talked about how their professor like will look at sometimes at our school we did you see how I have ADHD? Y'all don't see this in the short form videos. I be editing all this out. No, I heard about this one professor in a different section than mine. And at our school, we do these like entrance little Google forms, and it's like, where'd you grow up? Where'd you go to undergrad? Like, just them trying to get to know you as a person. And there's one professor who does her code calls based on like your background. And if you relate to the case in any way, then like you're probably going to be cold called for that. Like, I'm from New Orleans, but I grew up in Houston. So if I was in her section and there was a case from like the Court of Appeals in Louisiana, I might get called on for it. You know what I'm saying? And that's wild. Like that's crazy. But just the getting called on like seemingly at random and then being like, what are the facts of this case? The plaintiff argued this, the defendant argued this. What's the main rule from here? What are we learning from here? How did they apply it? Like just getting running having or having to run down the case is like I don't know, it keeps my ADHD engaged. Like, as you can tell, my brain just be jumping like from thing to thing. And I'll find myself sometimes like not zoning out, but my brain is just like, Oh my gosh, if y'all watch Big Mouth and you have that episode where they're taking the asses, the little test, and like Jay is like looking out the window, like, I wonder if I was a bird. Like, and he's just having this whole ADHD spiel throughout the whole show. That's literally how I feel. Like, I'll be in class just my brain just bouncing off the walls, but I'm still like listening and retaining information. It's actually really insane how ADHD works. But having to like stay on my toes and I'm always conscious of like waiting to see if my name is going to be called, not even in like a fearful way, but it just be embarrassing for me for them to be like bailing and I'm like, oh, you know what I'm saying? um and then it also helps me really stay like on my toes about the reading. Not that I'd be the kind of person to like not do my work, but it just light a little bit more fire under you knowing that you don't know if you're going to be called on to have to explain this case to everybody. And side a little footnote off of the point that I'm making now, one thing that I can say about law school is like one distinct difference that it has from undergrad is like you're not just learning when the teacher is talking, like you learn when everybody's talking. When somebody's running down the facts of this case, like they're the teacher in that moment and like you better hope that they're saying the right thing. And the professor, oh excuse me, of course the professor will be like, yes, that was the right case, or maybe what else were they talking about? Like they'll guide you to the right answer if it's not really the right thing, but you're paying attention when everybody's talking, and this is like an interactive learning experience. I like that a lot. Very much enjoy that. Cool. Next thing wrote down was about how you can really feel that law school is like professional school, or at least that's how I feel. Like this is just so niche. Like it's just so interesting, like how the school operates and how it's structured, and it's like every intentional thing that you do is geared toward the fact that in 3 years or whenever you leave from here, you will most likely take the bar and become a practicing attorney, and everything that you do and everything that you learn is being pushed towards that. Like not even just teaching you how to be a lawyer and like how to litigate, but how to understand and assess the law and apply it, how to create like legal based analysis, all of these things. And it's just like, we're not in undergrad anymore, sister. We are not in grad school. Like this is a whole new world, child. Not that I've ever been to grad school, so I can't speak to that, but I can tell you it ain't undergrad. Like this is an experience, and an experience I'm very much enjoying, mind you. Um, yeah, just hear listen being in class, and they'll be like something something something, and when you would come across this on the bar, and it's like I don't take the bar for another 2 or 3 years, but yeah, we should kind of be talking about that right now. Like, and just a side note, a lot of things. Since starting school, also, I've gotten a lot of questions about law school admissions. While this is absolutely not a tutorial, and nothing about this account is a tutorial, and I'm just living my life on screen and sharing it, I can say, ooh, I can say that it's very helpful to pick your law school or look at your list based on the school's bar passage rate. I think that it makes no sense to apply to a school that can't teach you how to pass the bar. Why would you go in debt hundreds of thousands of dollars to not be able to pass the test that makes you an attorney? Like, we be focused on the wrong things. People be drilling you about T14 this, T14 that. Like, is this program gonna feed into the kind of law I want to practice, and can I pass the bar going to this school or not? Like, what are we talking about? But that was just my little thought on that. Anywho, I was gonna curl my hair with pipe cleaners, but I decided that I'm going to let my bust down hang tomorrow, and then I'll just curl my hair tomorrow night. Yes, and if anybody's watching this that has locks, you definitely understand that, like, when you wash your hair, just the retwist right after, that's just like bust down prime. Like, my hair is just the straightest that it wants to be right after the water and the wash and everything just gave her a nice little rundown. So I'm gonna take advantage of it. Might do a little flat twist in the front, let it hang in the back. Not sure yet. Anyways, another thing. Whenever older law students or alumni talk about how during 1L they read you to death, they're not lying. Like, they're not. And like I said, I came into law school with a background in history. So I already came from a program in undergrad that's very reading and writing heavy. And then I'm an avid reader outside of school. So it's not even like the action of reading a lot, but it's just like what you're reading is like the most mental gymnastics type of content that you and it's just you'll be reading cases from like 1860 something or like 1930 something, and the way that they're talking in all this abstract text, it's like, what do you want from me? Like, what do you want from me? I feel like I caught on relatively quickly, though. I've noticed myself getting faster and like understanding the content faster, but that first little week and a half, please, like, please, I was actually losing my mind. Like, writing my first case brief, I felt like I was gonna throw up. Like, I was sitting in front of the computer like, well, you got me. I was actually losing my mind. um but it gets easier. It got easier for me, at least. Child, but reading to death, it'll be, they told us, my torch professor said on average you'll have readings that's like 15 to 30 pages a night, and then that's per class. You have two classes a week. So let's just do the math. Like, me, one of the reasons I went to law school is because I hate math and I'm not good at it. So y'all can do the math and tell me about it. But, child, it's a lot of reading to do, I'll tell you that. And when you see them little TikToks about law school students talking about how you'll spend 3 hours reading 20 pages, they're not lying. 2 hours reading 15 pages, like, and I'm just reading the same page over and over. And on the eighth read, I'm like, yes. No, I'm kind of joking, but I'm kind of not. Like, it just depends on what class we're talking about. And just know, civ, ooh, just know that civil procedure has quickly become my favorite class. I actually love it there. But all this reading and them truly reading me to death has me experiencing exhaustion at new heights. I didn't even know that my body and my mind and like my spirit could be so physically fatigued. Like, it doesn't even make sense. And I feel like I've just now gotten to the point like this week where I've felt like I can start working through the exhaustion, and I feel like I'm hitting new heights very soon. We're hitting a stride. I've been able to like read through my head hurting or like just being exhausted and like being able to still retain information. Because sometimes when you'll just be looking at a paper and you could tell that you're not reading anything, you're just kind of looking at it. That's kind of how I would be for a little bit, and I'm like, girl, I don't want to spend no extra time looking at this. Like, let's just try to understand it and move on. But I'm just now hitting that stride where I feel like I've been able to work through the exhaustion. So I think that we're getting places. I think we're getting places. Um, love that. One thing, mm, no, I just didn't like that segue. The next thing I'll say is I'm very happy about how I went about choosing my school and the intention that I went through and thinking about what it was going to be like in a day to day experience going to school there. For undergrad, I didn't really put in any legitimate effort in like looking into my school and like seeing much about it. I was going through a lot of things when I graduated high school, and I was just ready to get out of this little small white conservative town that I was living in. Like, I wasn't being too intentional about nothing. But when I knew that I was moving to DC for undergrad, like I've known that before I even knew moving to DC for law school. I knew that before I even knew where I was going to school. So I was like, cool. But I wanted to be very intentional about going to a school where like the social environment was one that I felt comfortable in, and just where I would feel like that academic challenge like I was talking about. And then just I didn't want to go to school in the middle of nowhere. I didn't want to go to school in a college town. Like I said, I went to TSU for undergrad. I went up, ugh, I grew up in the suburbs and then I went to college in the heart of downtown Houston. Like I much prefer being in like the urban city area as opposed to being in like the suburbs, like a residential. That doesn't go for me. So I had to really be intentional about how I was picking my school and like where I was gonna live. And I'm glad that I took the time to do that because it's paying off now. Like I feel like I'm getting a very accurate balance. Hmm. I feel like I'm getting. Hold on. I feel like at my school I have the balance that I want of like social engagement and the kind of social interaction I want, and like academic challenge and feeling like I am learning something by being here. Um, Everything just works well for me. I don't like how I said it in the video, but I was just talking about how there's a lot of stories about schools being very competitive and it being like a lot of internal competition that just makes school much more stressful than it needs to be. And I'm very thankful that I don't go to a school like that and that our school is very like community based and like very rooted in paying it forward and like you eat, I eat, we all eat together. And I'm very much here for that. I can stand that. Um, Cause I wish somebody would like give me the wrong outlines or try to throw me off. Like, are we not all just supposed to be lawyers here? Like, why are you trying to sabotage me? That's insane. My phone died on me, and I just took that time to let my phone charge and finish the side of my head. So we only got one more little section left to go. And I know I said I wasn't going to curl my hair today. Honestly, it's all up in the air right now. It's all up in the air. But we're gonna do a length check when I'm done, just because I can. Yeah. The last thing I wanted to do was answer the overarching question that a lot of my friends and like people on my Instagram account have been asking me, and that's just how has actually being in law school compared to my expectations of school. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I was very intentional about not coming into school with like these distinct expectations because I don't want to invite disappointment into my dreams. But there's a lot of things, well, mm, Um, but there are things that are just different based off of my years in school that it's like been an adjustment to. Like the method of learning in law school is different. Instead of going to class and like being exposed to information first and then getting homework to reinforce it, it's like opposite. Like you are reading from the case books and you're like learning the material at home, and then you go to class and you're like learning how to apply them and learning the little additional feedback or like what's really important from your professor in class. So that's like interesting. Um, but I'm here for that though. I don't know. I guess it really tests like who really doing that reading, who really know what's going on. Like, and you could definitely tell like when people get called on, they have no idea what's going on. I hate that for them though. My anxiety would have me throwing up. um, And then another thing, like most people are just people. You are not likely to catch somebody coming to class in business casual or business professional like every day, suit and tie every day. I actually have a friend who does do that, and she says it's more like a mindset thing for her, and it just makes her feel good. And I'm all for like expressing yourself and doing what makes you feel good, but it's good to know that I don't have to do that. Like I can come to class in a suit and tie if I want to and it not look strange, like the same way I could just come in jeans and a t-shirt and it not look strange. Like we're all just here to learn and I'm here for that. Mm-mm. No, I'll tell you what the real shock is. My real shock was how much the LSAT translates into like not necessarily what you're learning, but how you're learning it. Like I I hate talking about the LSAT. I hate when people ask me about the LSAT to this day. Like, and I heard that LSAT is getting sued. Better bring me my money. Like I studying for the LSAT for me was just traumatizing. Like I lost so much weight, my skin was breaking out horribly. Like it was just a lot. And I'm thankful that I went hard enough to take it the first time and get the score, like get within the score range that I wanted to on the first time, and that it all just kind of worked out for me. But I will say that going so hard, like really forcing myself to understand these concepts and learn how to apply them has helped me a lot in law school, just with like the study techniques I was learning, applying those to like my case readings and stuff, or like the 21 fallacies that you learn about like common argument pitfalls. And like you see those all the time in your case books, like in the little case briefs, when the plaintiff will have argued something or the defendant argued something and you're like, why would they do that? Like like don't didn't you learn that? Like no girl, they didn't. Like it's, I don't know, it's just really interesting. The best thing that my LSAT tutor taught me, and when I talked about my LSAT experience before, like I think that tutor really scammed me. But one thing that that man did teach me well was this study tool, or this study tip, sorry, of reading faster through logical reasoning by drilling, you like training yourself to get it on the first try. Like you know how you'll read through a paragraph two, three, four times to like comprehend it. Training yourself to read not only like faster but more intentionally to gather every word as you pick it up. And when you go through and you read, like you don't go back a word and you are just picking it up as you go. And I used to drill that by just like reading little paragraphs, or like I would do it like even reading text messages. Like somebody would text me and I would just read it through one time and I wouldn't read backwards, and I would try to see if I could say out loud what they sent to me, either like verbatim or just like the overall point. And it'll really test you, but it definitely helps. Like just definitely teaching me how to synthesize information faster, how to grasp information faster. I don't know, just little things like that definitely did what they needed to do for me. Um, and it's coming in handy now, child. Yes. The last thing I can say as it relates to school and like expectations, um, I don't know how much it ties into expectations, but like I don't know how much this ties into expectations, but one thing I can say in general is that like confidence is key and having self assurance is key. One thing that I've personally worked on a lot recently, within the last couple of years, like type recent, but something that I needed to work on a lot in my life was like growing my self esteem and being more sure of myself as a person, like having real self confidence, having real true self esteem. And I put in a lot of intentional work in doing that and like boosting my self confidence, giving myself affirmations, all of those things. Oh, excuse me. But in law school, like that confidence really helps you. How I was talking about earlier with like the comparison game, it's hard to compare yourself when you're just confident in what you're doing. It's like, yeah, this is cool. I love that they're doing that, but this is what I'm doing and it's working for me. So, like, I don't know, just just being confident in yourself and being assured that like you are meant to be here. Like, I'm 22 and I'm in the same room as some people who are literally like twice my age. Like, I'm I'm doing it, and I earned my position. I earned to be here. Everybody's here for a different reason, but I'm definitely confident in me being deserving to be in the room that I'm in, and that's been a reaffirming affirmation in itself. But just having confidence in yourself and that you like deserve to be here, that you earned it, that you put in the work, and that you're putting in the work, it's been helping me out a lot, and I think that it's an important thing to have with you. I was in class the other day, and there's a lot of common names and stuff. You'll be in class, and it'll be like three Michaelas and like four Abbies or whatever. But this girl, like, they'll call on you for cold calls, right? And it'll be like Olivia and like all five Olivias look up or something, and like they'll say it by name. But this girl like was like, oh, I'm the other one, and in my head I was like, why would you refer to yourself as other? Like, even just little stuff like that, like, not going for that. Can't do that to myself. Even just the little things like help me supplement my confidence and help me reaffirm like that self esteem. And I think that all of those things help me go through school with like an assurance that I'm going to do fine in school, I think, but fine for me means like thoroughly excelling. Like I'm yeah. I don't want to bleep things out and I don't want to like I don't know. It's just some places where I can only really be myself in real time, but just imagine me saying it. Yeah. Yeah, look at this. You see the link. But 1 month into school so far has been feeling great. Let me check my camera because she just died on me last time. Like, that was literally insane. Going through the rest of like my fall semester and just the rest of school, 1L, all of the things, I want to keep reminding myself that this is my dream. Like, my inner child is so happy to get up and go to school every day because I'm going to law school. Like, this is my life's dream. Like, and I just can't even reiterate it. And I'm the perfect person for this. Like, I love to read. History is my girl. We literally like this. And I love being in school. Like, my mom is a teacher, has literally shaped my entire life. I love going to school. And then for this to have been like what I've been working up for my whole life, it just makes me feel a different kind of appreciation. Like, I don't know. I don't view like the fatigue that I'm feeling or like just the stress and all the stuff that I'm feeling in like a negative way. And I think that the perspective that I'm looking at it from really helps. And I just want to keep having that perspective. I keep doing it for little Bailey. I literally have a picture of my third grade little class photo with me in this like sequence vest on my laptop. And I just be looking at it like, girl, this is who's sitting in this desk every day. Like, and we're just so happy to be here. And I don't know. I gotta keep feeling it. I think I just started twisting my hair the wrong direction. Yeah, it's definitely this way. Just constantly reminding myself that it's always been me, and it's just gotta keep being me. Can't fall off. Mm-mm. What Meg say? If these ain't mad, I need to go harder. Can't let them think we the same. Precisely. And the other thing that I want to keep reminding myself of is work-life balance is real. I can't. If I take a shot for every time at orientation they said work-life balance, I would have been out of there. Like, they kept stressing at orientation, work-life balance, work-life balance. You have to have work-life balance. Like, you have a life outside of law school. You have other friends. You have other interests. Like, don't let this consume your life. And at first I was like, okay, girl. But then I did the first week and I was like, okay, girl. Like, you chewed, and I was unfamiliar with your game, Queen. Like, but I definitely want to keep reminding myself of that. And I said that in a little reel that I posted on my Instagram. Like, my first day of orientation, I made a little get ready with me talking about just like how I was feeling going into orientation, going into 1L, and like what all this extra. This doesn't even make sense. I wanted to talk about all of the things that I was feeling like going into school and how I want to make sure I maintain my hobbies and stuff like that. And I speak that to be true. I haven't baked nothing yet. I might bake after this. Cuz I don't have class till 1:30, so like I can stay up. But going skating, doing the baking stuff, like doing what I like to do, all of those things need to keep happening. And I need to be intentional about it. I said I was gonna keep reading, but honestly, I don't know if my brain wants to just read more things right now. Like we'll see. But I love to read, and like I was having a great reading year before I started 1L. So I don't know. Like I think I've gotten up to like 25 or 30 books before school started. I haven't read a book since I started school, but up until then, like when I tell y'all I was flying, you can see it in the vlogs, please. But yeah, got to get back to the hobbies. Got to get back to the work-life balance. But I'm thoroughly enjoying law school, like thoroughly, and I can't wait to watch this back. Like when I'm a 3L and I'm finna graduate and I got one foot out the door. Would they be calling it 3LOL? Like I can't wait to be at the end of like the law school chapter and I'm looking back to when I was first starting and just how exciting and new it all was and how exciting and new it's gonna be to like step into my career in just 2 short years. Like this is just very, very, very exciting for me. Literally my life's dream coming true. Living in the city I've always wanted to be in. Everything is coming together. Love that for me. But yeah, this is the first time I filmed in a video like with intention to post it on the internet for real. And honestly, we'll see how my fear of being perceived and anxiety goes. This may stay up for however long this account is up, and this may be up 2 days. But if you're still watching, appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Love to hear that. Love to see it. Glad that you find my digital diary entertaining. And I don't know. Hope to see y'all again in the next one. Will there be more? Probably. Maybe. I don't know. We're just here for the vibes. Every day is a new day. Um, yeah, I wanted this video to end with my hair being done, but I'm honestly glad that I'm flying through it. But I got like 2 more rows left, and I'm just glad of the timing of it all. See, this is the ADHD part where it's hard for me to just end stuff. Like, you know how conversations naturally end, but I'm kind of talking to y'all and talking to myself. I don't know. I'll see y'all in the next one.